Happy Sunday, everybody. It's Crouton. Obviously on Sundays we have Daisy May over. She's selling her turnips for 102, which isn't the best. The lowest you can get it for is 90. So I'm going to have a look around, ask my friends, and have a look on the turnip exchange and see whether there's someone who's selling them for a bit cheaper than that. And then we'll buy some. Steamer basket set on this one. And look at my new star clock. I am over the moon. Pun intended. So I can turn 1, 2, 3, 4, big one, yes. 5, 9, 10. We've got 10 so far. We did make 20 wishes, so I'm hoping for double that. But they do appear throughout the day, so hopefully some more will wish up soon. Oh. Okay, so we've got 12 so far. That means there's room for another 8 to come throughout the day, so that's quite good. Okay. $364,000. Here we go. I'm really sorry if you hear me sniffing throughout this. My hay fever is killer. And off we go. Okay, and it was at this point that I realised, hey, I'm going to need to use a voiceover for this, otherwise you're not going to hear anything that I'm saying. So what I've decided to do is I've decided to make a turnip farm, and I wanted to put it right next to the orchard because then it's sort of like the produce area. But as you can see, I've had some really bad terraforming times over here. What I was doing was I was trying to get rid of this land over here. But instead what I ended up doing was I did 2 lines and then got bored. So yeah, but to start with, we've got to empty our pockets a little bit so that we can pick up some items. And so I'm just dropping some turnips over here. They're not going to stay here forever. Okay, so I'm just going back to get some tools. Just anything I think I'll need for creating this turnip farm. Okay, just in case you're wondering, the audio that I've put to this, the music, it doesn't go with this this recording. I recorded it separately so that we had some Animal Crossing music, but yeah, it doesn't really go. So essentially what I'm doing here is I'm creating a guide for me to know where to build the cliffs to. And now I'm just filling in the gaps that I made ages ago really badly because I keep missing where I'm meant to be putting it. But I just want to make a flat surface to work on. Obviously you can't really do anything with those grooves. I will say that the terraforming on this isn't the easiest to use. I wish you could just rotate your screen some more. Now we're just going back to the house because we need some lattice fences to match the orchard, and I have a few but not enough, so we're going to make some more. And I really don't know why I left the house then, because my work table isn't here. I'm just counting how many blocks deep it is to try and work out how many dirt paths to put down, which I'm doing now. It turned out it was like 16 or something, but that doesn't easily divide by 40, which is what I've got. So I decided to do 10. And it should have been at this point that I would realise, hey, this isn't going to look good. And then I experimented with the light dirt. This is honestly the beginning of the fail. At this point I don't really know what I'm doing. I'm picking up the turnips. I got really confused with what I was doing. I ultimately decided that I liked the look of the light dirt better for this because I had used the dark dirt for the paths in the orchard area, and so I wanted it to look a little bit different so that it was really like obvious that it wasn't meant to be a path. But yeah, I decided to do 10 because then I could do 4 rows of 10 because I always get a whole inventory full of turnips, which is 40 stacks. So I wanted it to look nice. Oh god. So here we go. This is what it looks like, and now I'm about to put the turnips down. And something I will say is if you're going to do it in rows like this, it's tedious to put them down. I'm just building the fence around it so that we can sort of see the sizing, digging up that fossil that we don't need. And so I thought this looked great. No, I didn't. But that was it. That's where I was going, and it's such a fail. It looks rubbish. So at this point I took to Pinterest to get some inspiration because I just couldn't leave it like this. This isn't what I want my island to look like. It literally looks like I've shoved turnips on a path, which is what I've done, in stripes, in a way that doesn't match the orchard because it's a lot smaller. Like, what is that? It just looks rubbish. Okay, then after literally just a minute, because so many people have so many good ideas on Pinterest, I decided to go and redeem some design codes. And yes, you did see me building a bridge, so I don't have to jump over that pond anymore. So this person, she's created, or they have created all sorts of like turnip garden themed designs. I'll leave the code in there so that you can see them because I did not make this. I have taken it from Pinterest. They, I assume, are happy for people to use it, otherwise they wouldn't have shared it. So that's what I'm going to be using. And I'm just going back to the house because I want to have a look through and see whether I've got anything that's sort of garden or farm related, because essentially what I'm going to be doing like a proper little farm. So rather than it just being rows of turnips, I'm going to make it into what looks like a proper gardening area. I'm just looking through my crafting recipes, see if there's anything there, and it was at this point that I realised, hey, I don't really have that much stuff. I have a load of stuff, but nothing that sort of relates to farming. And so here I am picking up all of the turnips. I just wanted to have a look at the dirt paths. I'll pick up the fences so that we can see properly. I'm putting down the actual dirt path because the QR code that I have downloaded sort of uses the underneath as like the edging. So rather than having grass underneath, I thought I would use dirt. And that way it also shows up on the mini-map as well, whereas if you just use the QR codes or the design codes, then you would just be left with a map that looks like you've got a blank space there instead. As you can see, I'm putting it down sporadically. That's because the designer has created different types of textures. So you can see some look like they've got little holes built in, some have the weeding type ones. And I will say this is so much easier to put the turnips down because you can just put down multiple at once instead of having to do them in a row. So I definitely recommend doing it like this. So I decided I didn't want it to be completely symmetrical. I just wanted to give it a more realistic vibe. So I've done a 5x5 patch over there, and over here I'm doing a 5x3. That makes 40 plots altogether for the turnips, which is perfect. I'm just adding in a few of the splotchy ones, don't want many. And I'm just putting down the remainder of my turnips now. And already I'm so much happier with how this looks than how the original one looked. Now, because the orchard has lattice fencing, I want to continue that. And I know it's still a lot smaller than the orchard, but it's come out a lot more, so it doesn't look so abnormal. Now, one of the design codes that I got was for one that looks like a weed or a seed or something. As you can see there, I'm trying to put it on a cushion because then it looks like a sack of soil or a sack of seeds or something. But my Zen cushion isn't the same cushion that they used in the Pinterest article that I got inspiration from. So I now decide to go and try and buy a cushion for me to edit. And so I head on over to Nukazon, which is the website that I use to buy things from. And luckily someone was selling two. So I fly off to their island. I give them the 3 Nuke Miles tickets. I don't know whether that's good or bad, but I had them spare. So I bought them. And I edited them and customized them so that it looked like a sack of soil, and actually I really love them. And it also means that without really knowing it, you've sort of got a space to sit in your farm, which I think was kind of cool. Now here is me searching through, finding a crafting table, and also looking for my wheelbarrow because I was sure I had one. And I got the idea from Pinterest to turn one of the stalls into a shed, I suppose. That's my idea, that's how I interpreted it anyway. I found this one, but I didn't realise at the time that it had the cakes and the sweet treats on it. And I thought, well, I can't use that in a garden. And really it was the wrong colours anyway, it was too happy and sunny. And so instead I decided I should make my own. So I'm getting rid of this design. This is just one of the normal designs that comes with it. I'm yet to find a way to completely blank out or start a new one again. So I just stamp all over it with the transparent ones. And I tried to design a new one. So here I am just sectioning off the different stripes. I'm going to make 4 stripes. Very similar to the one that we've just found. So I've taken inspiration from it, I've left them in so that they get credit as well. But this is me just creating a design for my stall. Something I really liked on their one was how it curved round. I thought, well, that was too pointy, so I've made it rounder there, and I thought that looks a lot better. And I decided to go for sort of like earthy tones because it's in a garden. So here's me using greens and creams and browns. And you want to make sure that when you're doing this, anything that's the background is transparent, not white. Otherwise, on your design, you'll be looking at white stripes instead of it being transparent and going against the other textures. I did think that this was too short, so I started making it a bit longer, and I ended up actually making it so long that it basically touched the bottom in the end. And I think that's just how I like it. It ended up looking a lot better. and I ended up being really happy with it, so I'm very glad that I designed it. So here I am just customizing my stool, and then I had a look and I thought dark brown looked the best with it. Now the browns and the greens look a lot lighter on the actual furniture than they did in the design. I'm not sure whether I'm going to change it yet. We'll see how it goes, but for now I'm happy with how it looks. As you can see, I've put the cushion on there. I tried rotating the cushion, but you can't. I also put a pack of seeds up there just because I thought that looked fitting. I've also got a bucket there. I'm trying to find anything that could be farm related. And now I'm starting the Island Designer app so that I can sort out all of the flooring. I wanted some sort of like walkway, maybe a bit of decking. I didn't think this brown one looked nice, right. It was almost too brown there, but I like this white one because it sort of matches the turnips. But I liked the end pieces of that design better, so I decided to move everything across one so that I could do the left and the right piece of the planks. And I decided underneath the planks, because they, like I said, they've got the transparency in between the planks on the design, so I thought, well, it needs to have something underneath. And I thought, well, we're on a farm or a garden, it's going to be muddy, so I put mud underneath. We got another present, we got so many. It's quite cute, imperial low table. And then I just started making like a decking area. I just thought it'd be really cute to have that. I also like putting the fences on top of these things, otherwise you've got quite a bit of grass showing still and it just doesn't look right to me. So I had to get rid of all of the fencing just to do that. So now we've got a completely mud dirt farm, and I think that's the sort of vibe I'd like for a farm. Rex is a lazy type, but he loves his bugs and he loves everything, so I wonder if that's why he popped over when I put down all of this dirt, or whether it was just coincidental. Yes, I do know I've put down the wrong plank down there. I will be editing it. I'm just putting down the remainder of the turnips that I picked up, and already I'm starting to like how this looks a lot more. So when I have visitors, I have quite a lot of strangers pop over because I do use Nukason. I do like inviting people over, helping people out with stuff, which is why I'm putting the fence all the way around. When I leave this area, I will put fence in front of the walkway as well, because then people can't get in, because I don't want people to steal my turnips. I did find a wheelbarrow, it was outside one of my islanders' houses. And now I'm just putting down things. I thought having a sack of, the cushion that looks like a sack of soil or a sack of seeds or something next to the wheelbarrow was quite fitting. And now I'm going back to the house because I had the idea of putting a well in there to go with the bucket. I thought I already had one, but it turns out I didn't, so I decided to make one. Luckily I had all of the resources for it. And then I decided to customise it as well so that I could make it a grey colour, because I thought, while the red one would probably be more stereotypical, my whole island is sort of like white and grey, and over here it's all got the white aspects and the grey aspects. So I decided to go ahead and make it grey. And I thought maybe it looked a bit too busy on that side, so I put the wheelbarrow and the soil down over here. And I thought, well, that looks a little bit better. So I created some of my DIYs as well to go on the farm. But I had to go back and get some resources to make that stuff. So I ended up making some rocks or stones and a beekeeper's hive. I'm not convinced that the beekeeper's hive is going to stay there, because I had this idea when I put it down that I could put several around there, surrounded by all these different flowers. They're like colourful flowers that I don't really want around my island, and just make it a really nice area for bees to come. In real life, I absolutely love bees. They are my favourite insect in the whole world, and I raise money for them. I do all sorts of charity work to help support saving the bees. So I definitely want to have an area on my island that reflects that part of my life. I also put down a mini DIY workbench because I thought on a farm you're gonna need tools. I don't know. And at this point I was really trying to make it all look a bit more natural. I think the stones will grow on me, but I just don't know whether they fit there. And I also really would like to put a scarecrow in, but I don't have a scarecrow. But yeah, I think it was very hard for me to find where to put things because I wanted it to fill up and I would rather not have empty space. It just was very tricky for me to find things to place in that would look right here. But I am a lot happier with this than I was the turnip farm at the beginning. So hopefully over time I'll be able to get more DIYs, find more furniture and stuff that I could put down in this farm area. But actually I'm pretty happy with it. I think it looks pretty cool. I really hope you enjoyed watching this, turning my fail turnip farm into a fabulous turnip farm, or almost fabulous. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye!